Just need to wait for the live stream to appear. If you would love to hurry up, that would be great. Come on, show up. How can it show up on my other account but not my main account so I can fucking edit it? Come on. There we go, got it. I just need to check whether it's working. If it's even working, I'm not even sure it's working. Stupid thing. Fucking ain't getting started on this. Can't wait till I'm professional so this can... There we go. Oh, time to lock in. Got plenty of water. Oh. Well, good evening. The Europa League final. A game second to the Champions League final in terms of prestige. A game perhaps in both managers' careers, Ange Postecoglou and Ruben Amorim. There is no bigger for them. Jobs on the line, trophies on the line, pride on the line. In the news this week, Ange Postecoglou was compared to a hero or a clown, depending on the result of this tie. Well, the same may be said for Ruben Amorim come 90 minutes, because both men have had underwhelming seasons in the league. Both men have crashed out of the other competitions, the FA Cup, the Carabao Cup. Both teams were defeated in poor fashion in those. But the one constant has been their European glory. And for one of Manchester United and Tottenham, it will be a fantastic end to a dismal season. The other, however, they stare down the barrel of a 16th or 17th place finish. No trophies and the worst record in their entire club history. Not the sort of weight that wants to be placed on a pressured manager's shoulders. Both Ange Postecoglou and Ruben Amorim will do everything they can to avoid that fate today as the players make their way onto the field. And the starting lineups are as follows. For Tottenham, Vicario is the goalkeeper. Porro, Romero, Van de Ven, Udogie, the back four. It's been a back four littered with injuries over this season. The likes of Van de Ven and Romero struggling to get consistent game time for Tottenham. Udogie and Porro had times out as well. The likes of Gray and Davies had to fill in over the season. Papsar, Yves Bissouma and Rodrigo Bentancur is a midfield three. And at their best, that is one of the most dominant midfields in the Premier League. This season, they've yet to find any glory. Brennan Johnson, Dom Solanke and Richarlison are the three tasked with scoring goals. The controversial choice is that the club captain Heung-min Son, the successor of the great Harry Kane, is left on the bench on what could be Tottenham's most historic night of this century. He will watch from the sideline. The captain instead for Tottenham, I believe, is Christian Romero. And will he be the man lifting the trophy at the end of the day? Well, the Manchester United captain Bruno Fernandes will have something to say about that. He shepherds the middle of the park alongside Casemiro. He protects a back three, which includes Lenny Yoro, Harry Maguire, and Luke Shaw, with Dorgu and Mazraoui looking set to be the wing backs. And then a front three involving Mason Mount, player in a Champions League final. Can he add the Europa League to his list? Of course, he won the Champions League with Chelsea in 2021 with Amad Diallo and Rasmus Højlund alongside him in the attacking unit. Rasmus Højlund, plenty of criticism over his career at Manchester United. He could end every single word of doubt against him in one sweep if he can win the trophy for Manchester United today. But for Tottenham, AZ Alkmaar, Frankfurt and Bodo Glimt, the three sides that fell victim to Ange Postecoglou. For Manchester United, it was not as simple A 6-7 game against Lyon on aggregate is the pick of the bunch. They were down and out if it weren't for 3 late goals in that game. They also beat 2 Spanish sides, Real Sociedad and the host nation, the host city, in fact, Athletic Club, the side from Bilbao. They crashed out in the semi-final in a 1-7 aggregate defeat against Manchester United. The likes of Tell and Archie Gray on the bench for Tottenham. For Man United, it's Alejandro Garnacho, Ugarte, and Joshua Zirkzee, who could be the next Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Can they come off the bench and score a dramatic goal in a European final? We'll find out in a few moments' time as the toss is being called. A hectic schedule coming up of football as the season crescendos. The Europa League final is the first stop on a world tour of football because the Premier League finishes this weekend. We have the playoff finals for the Championship and the rest of the EFL games as well coming in the next few days. And then next week, the Europa Conference League concludes. Chelsea take on Real Betis before the Champions League final. The pinnacle of club football is next weekend. PSG will hope to take home their first crown. Inter Milan will hope to add to their list as Bilbao awaits for Manchester United and Tottenham to compete for the first European trophy of the season. It's the Reds against the Whites. It's Manchester United in red, Tottenham hoping that they will outglass the Red Devils today. A huddle for Manchester United as they talk things over one last time before the game. Everything that Tottenham needed to say was said in the dressing room, you feel. But they're coming out and reminding each other of words. There is no underestimating how big of a game this is for both Ruben Amorim and Ange Postecoglou. It is not outlandish to say that there are jobs on the line for both struggling managers today as Tottenham make their way to the east side of the ground. Manchester United take the west for a Europa League final that potentially could be for the ages. A sea of white behind one goal, a sea of red behind the other. Club provided flags and scarves for both sides, and they're waving them proud as the Europa League final is set to get underway for Tottenham to kick off. And off we go. Tottenham from left to right. And a long ball straight away up towards Dom Solanke as they try and show early intent. It's won by Manchester United in the middle of the park. And strap yourself in for 90 minutes of back and forth football as Manchester United look to settle with possession in the opening stages of this game. Touches for as many of the back 5 as they can as a ball into the middle of the park by Dorgu is intercepted by an offside Rasmus Højlund, and Tottenham will have a free kick just inside their own half. And what an important night it could be for those young shoulders of Rasmus Højlund. As a great call from the linesman earlier on because the Tottenham line had stepped up beautifully to be right in line of the halfway line, and Rasmus Højlund was just leaning over. It was a good spot, very high line from Tottenham. We're used to seeing that from them. They've deployed it famously and not so famously in the last couple of years. A few big wins against key clubs this season. The likes of Man City and Aston Villa were thumped by 4 goals by Tottenham. On the flip side of it, though, of course, they are having their worst season of all time as Pedro Porro's ball down the line towards Pape Sarr is intercepted by Dorgu. Back in his home country, Pedro Porro, the Spaniard, the Tottenham number 23. Been playing in England for a few years now. Stopped in Portugal as well previously with Sporting Lisbon. He'll relish a chance to lift a trophy in his home nation, of course, if he can get his hands on it. Standing in their way is Manchester United and Luke Shaw as he looks for a long ball towards Mount. It's headed down calmly and then flicked well by Bentancur. Basuma looks for Brennan Johnson. First chance for him to run at Luke Shaw, but the ball is overhit and Luke Shaw will look to shepherd it out. But Tottenham have won themselves an early corner. Shaw aggrieved to have been the last man to take the touch, and the linesman on the right-hand side will put it behind for a corner. And looking at it, Luke Shaw maybe tries to play it off Brennan Johnson. Unsure whether he gets a touch or not. The camera angle I was shown was deceptive, but nonetheless, it's Tottenham with a chance to take first blood. They have a corner kick. Plenty of tall targets in that box. And what a start this will be for Tottenham. And Ange Postecoglou would love this to go in to settle the nerves. He's playing cool, calm and collected on the outside, but on the inside, he knows how big of a 90 minutes this could be. Dominic Solanke will surely be one of the targets for Porro's out-swinging set piece. It's in towards the centre of the box, and the referee has instantly given a foul in Manchester United's way. Harry Maguire, of all people, hitting the deck in the middle of the clump, and he goes down, and the referee is happy to blow the whistle. And the replay, it looks like Mickey van der Ven with just 2 arms round the Englishman's waist, and yeah, he can have no complaints as Maguire has little to do but fall to the ground to win his side a free kick. Well, for these two sides, this is it for the season, really. They have nothing to play for in the Premier League. Of course, the only thing still in action is the race for European football, which these two sides could potentially sort out today if they win the game. A reminder, of course, winning the Europa League gives you a spot in the Champions League next season. One of these two teams will be playing in UEFA's top competition next season, as Manchester United have just won themselves a free kick, and now they have a chance to put the ball into the box, as Christian Romero was believed to be a bit too aggressive when jumping onto Rasmus Højlund. Looked to compete for the header. Obviously no intention there from Romero, but hands pushing down on the shoulders perhaps of Rasmus, denying him from getting into the air. And now Luke Shaw has a free kick about 40 yards from goal off to the left-hand side. It will be delivered towards the back post by him. Maguire is an obvious target. He gets his head across goal. It's missed poorly, and it will go behind, I think, for a Manchester United corner. And Destiny Udogie at the front post was not sure at all. The header across from Maguire wasn't the most convincing, but he got his legs right in a twist, Destiny Udogie there, as he looks to hook the ball clear and ends up slicing it behind for a corner to Manchester United. And that could have gone anywhere, and that is exactly what you don't need as a defender in your European final debut, because his first touch of the ball was a poor slice behind, and now Bruno Fernandes has the chance to deliver an outswinging free kick, a corner even. Nice feeling to this game. 4.5 minutes on the clock. Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0 in the Europa League final from Bilbao. Fernandes' corner is towards the front post. It misses everyone, could fall out to the edge of the box for Luke Shaw. He goes back home to Mazraoui. Looks to clip a diagonal ball over to Bruno Fernandes. He looks to beat Richarlison in the air, but his header will only be as far as Vicario. But Rasmus Højlund's intercepted. It's Fernandes. Can he get a shot away? It's well shepherded out. It's Fernandes blocked by, I believe, his own man in the box there, Mason Mount. And Tottenham need to settle these nerves, because that's 2 poor mistakes in the box from them. The ball was clipped over to Fernandes. He looked to head it to Højlund. It looked like it would be a simple grab for Vicario. He closed the ball down, and Rasmus Højlund somehow got there first. Looked to square for Fernandes. His shot hit Mason Mount, and that was a good chance early on in this game for Manchester United to take the lead. 5 minutes on, still 0-0. Fernandes with the first shot. Didn't make it past the penalty spot, but had it have done, Vicario was in no man's land. It could have been in a little bit of trouble, but in credit to them, Tottenham's defence did well to deny a clear opening for Fernandes. He had to hit it on the swivel. And Mason Mount raising a hand in apology. Just seeing here, Vicario commits to going to ground early, and Rasmus Højlund is able to scoop the ball away from him. He cuts it back to Fernandes, but there isn't an immediate shot on, and Udogie was the man pressing, as Tottenham look to try and string a few passes together, but they've given the ball away again here towards Amad Diallo. Now Casemiro, pressured by Basuma in the middle of the park, and that's a simple free kick for the referee. DM on DM foul. Yves Basuma just in the back of the experienced Casemiro. He's won 6 Champions Leagues in his career, of course, famously with Real Madrid for a number of years, but he wouldn't turn his nose up at the second European trophy. It'll be the first time he could lift that in his career, and you would say, with how bad this season would be, the joy and the relief of something positive might be comparable to some of those glory days back with the Galacticos. Thrown by Dorgu to Shaw. It's back home to Onana. It's headed by Basuma towards Richarlison. Could be a chance for him to run, but it's a really great challenge by the experienced Casemiro. Now Mazraoui can drive out with it. He's got Amad Diallo on the right side. Looks to flick it back to him, but there was a Tottenham leg in the way, and it'll go out for a Manchester United throw-in on the halfway line. Richarlison just trying to trap the ball under his control and get his body in front. Casemiro timing his challenge excellently to try and spring that Manchester United attack. They've taken their throw in and it's down the line towards Mason Mount into Rasmus Højlund. Has Mount on the inside, looks to try and run Yves Bissouma down the line. Rasmus, it's nice strength from him, looks to chop inside, but Bissouma was watching the ball the whole way. And Højlund is appealing for a foul. He's pulled his shoe off, possibly to appeal that it was stomped on by Bissouma. Didn't seem to be too much in it as he stopped to retie his laces, the Danish striker Rasmus Højlund. But it'll just be a throw in, and his fellow nation man, the Danish Patrick Dorgu, who joined in January for Manchester United. He's at left wing back today. He takes the throw in and goes back towards Shaw, who finds Yoro. And he's been a fantastic signing, Lenny Yoro, from Lille over the summer. A couple of months out with injury, but since he's found his feet in the Manchester United team, for such a young lad, he's been able to bear some responsibility of a defence that at times has been held together by no more than tape. Both these sides have had their fair share of injuries this season, as Manchester United playing across their own box with Shaw. His attempted long ball is blocked by Johnson. It'll ricochet back off Luke Shaw. That's good pressing by Tottenham, and they've won a throw in about 15 yards from goal on the right-hand side, and maybe a chance to deliver the ball into the box if Pedro Porro so wishes. He opts against the long throw and will go short potentially to Johnson. It's marked, so instead he goes back to Bentancur, back to Porro. Bentancur again, now a chance to deliver. Finds Bissouma at the edge of the box. And back to Christian Romero. Manchester United shepherding Tottenham out well. Romero to Pedro Porro. Now he can swing the ball in. Onana comes and doesn't get there. And Richarlison was arriving. And it's a really good defensive header by Mazraoui. That was an excellent ball by Pedro Porro for Tottenham. It was a looping ball curving towards the back post. Showing his class there, Pedro Porro. And Onana came and was nowhere near it, and it would have been the simplest of headers for Richarlison had Mazraoui not beaten him to it. Important defensive header in a second corner of the game for Tottenham. And a second corner to defend for Manchester United. The first one didn't make it into the box because there was a foul on Harry Maguire. Tottenham will hope that they can at least do one better with that and challenge Manchester United into doing a little bit of defending. Papsar is stood on Onana. Onana telling the referee to watch carefully. Onana raises his hand. He would love to come and claim this cross if possible, as the ball will be delivered from the right-hand side by Bentancur. In towards the back post. It's punched away by Onana towards Johnson, who heads it out wide to Bissouma. Out to Bentancur again. Looks into the box. It's headed away by Mazraoui. Back with Udogie. Amad Diallo is pressing high. Udogie looks to skip round him. Is he given a nudge? I think he is. And Felix Zweier, the German referee, will blow his whistle and give a foul in favour of Tottenham Hotspur. A mildly interesting one for you. Manchester United have been drawn as the away team in all 4 of their knockout ties this season, meaning they were at home in the second leg and away in the first leg. This game, of course, just a one-legged game, and they're away again. Will the score be in favour of the away side overall? Once again, will be remaining to be seen. Still 0-0 here. 10 minutes on the clock. As for Tottenham, they were the home team first in all of their games, the higher seed, despite Manchester United finishing higher overall in the tournament, as Harry Maguire is looking to play the ball out. It's intercepted actually by Brennan Johnson. This could be a chance for him to square across. It's Johnson towards Richarlison. It could fall for Papsar, blocked by Maguire. And Luke Shaw clears away. And Manchester United played themselves into a bit of trouble there. Ball out wide with Richarlison. He's clattered into by Mazraoui. And that'll be a free kick to Tottenham in a really dangerous area. And Manchester United have played themselves into a little bit of trouble there. Fernandez asking the question of the referee, and Onana breathes a sigh of relief because for a second there, Manchester United have played themselves into danger. The ball was down the line for Maguire. He looked to play a cute little chip inside to Shaw, but Brennan Johnson read it. He got to the byline, looked to play it across. Onana got a strong hand on it to deny Richarlison, and then it fell for Papsar, and his half volley was straight into a crowd. But Harry Maguire needed to be careful there. That was not the place to give possession away, and Tottenham almost punished. They have a free kick, the danger not over. It's corner of the penalty area, a few yards out on the left-hand side, and it'll be swung in, curving towards the back post by Pedro Porro. And once again, there are plenty of targets for Tottenham in the box. The line is on the edge of the 6-yard box. Possibility that Pedro Porro might look to go this himself if he can loop it over Onana. He goes for it. It's in at the front post. It's blocked by Manchester United body, but given away. Richarlison blocked it. Deflects behind for a corner. And again, Manchester United don't clear their lines. Unbelievable stuff from this Manchester United defence. And so far, Tottenham have been the offensive side. It's Mason Mount at the front post who actually ducks under a header. It hits Casemiro, bounces back again off Mason Mount, and then Richarlison takes it in his stride and goes for a strike across goal. It's blocked by Bruno Fernandes, and it's behind for a corner. That was the biggest chance of the game so far, and it came from weak defending from a set piece. It's a third corner for Tottenham, and 12 minutes into this game, despite the 0-0 scoreline, it has been a fascinating watch between Tottenham and Man United. Another corner for Spurs. And it'll be swung in again, swinging by Bentancur. Onana thought about coming but left it. It will go as far as Brennan Johnson, who challenges with Dorgu, but he was adjudged to have led with his arm, and Dorgu goes down, and Brennan Johnson has conceded the free kick at the edge of the Manchester United area, and a reprieve for the Red Devils and Ruben Amorim, whose side in the first 13 minutes of this game have been on the defensive, the majority. Both sides have made mistakes in the penalty area that have almost conceded chances, but so far the goals remain unbreached as Ruben Amorim is barking orders. As the camera had given a shot of Heung-min Son sat on the bench. Imagine telling a Tottenham fan a few years ago that a fit and ready to go Heung-min Son would be on the bench for a European final during the great glory days of his link-up with Harry Kane, all those goals. You wouldn't have expected both prolific men to be out of the team when Tottenham finally had their chance at European glory. As Dorgu's got round the outside of Pedro Porro. The referee says there's no foul. Luke Shaw contesting with Pedro Porro. The ball deflect to Maguire. The diagonal switch is on. Instead, he looks for the safer ball to Mazraoui. Amad Diallo now still appealing for it. He won't get it. Instead, it will go back to Yoro. Harry Maguire, the Manchester United number 5, the £80 million man from Leicester City all those years ago, as Luke Shaw almost gives it away. He was a casual pass to Casemiro, and this Tottenham press is really good. Advantage played as Manchester United have played through the press, and there was potentially a foul. It's switched by Mazraoui towards Dorgu, and there's space for the Danishman to stand up Pedro Porro and get a cross in. The delivery is blocked by Porro, and it'll be a Manchester United throw-in. He goes quickly to Luke Shaw. Manchester United looking to push bodies up the field for the first time in a while. Maguire looks for a diagonal towards Dorgu. He can cook it across, and it's intercepted by Christian Romero in front of his goalkeeper. There wasn't a Manchester United man anywhere near attacking it, but defensively, the Argentinian World Cup winner had to get there. It was a lovely clip ball by Harry Maguire, lovely backspin on it to allow it to land on the boot of Dorgu, and his diving half volley across goal was shepherded behind awkwardly by Romero. And it's another corner, 15 minutes on the clock, 5th corner of the game. Still 0-0 here. And it's Manchester United's second go at swinging the ball into the box. And it's Bruno Fernandes' first attempt at an in-swinging delivery. His first outswinger was cleared away by Tottenham bodies. Will the in-swinger cause any more damage? The arms are raised in the air. There's a jostle at the back post between Højlund and Mount. It's tipped away by Vicario. Amad looks to scoop inside and go across the face of goal. And it's inches away. That was the closest we've come. Amad Diallo wanted a corner. It was a vicious strike from him, and he claims that Vicario got a finger to it. The corner from Fernandes was deep. Maguire set it back to Diallo. His fake shot was brilliant, and he drilled it across the face of goal. And I don't know whether an outstretching leg maybe could have got near it for a tap-in. I wonder whether it was a cross or a shot, but definitely not a corner. Vicario doesn't get near it, but that was a good chance for Manchester United, and it was really well struck by Diallo. He scored some famous goals in his couple of years in the Manchester United main team since coming back off loan from Sunderland. And a goal in this final would no doubt be the biggest of the lot, and he was a couple of inches wide of the post away from getting it 16 minutes on the clock as the long ball by Vicario is intercepted by Diallo, and he can go again, the Ivorian. He's being ran by Bissouma. Bissouma gets a foot in. It's kept in by a Tottenham body, and it will go out for a Tottenham throw-in as Fernandes stops the ball from being played down the line. your doggy will have the throw-in. Dom Solanke was putting his body about in there. I haven't seen too much of him in this opening few minutes, nor have we seen much from Rasmus Højlund. It's been a game played out wide so far, as Højlund is pressing high on Romero, and he plays a calm header to Basuma. Inside to your doggy. Here is Solanke on the ball, and he can collect it and turn and try and set Tottenham away on the attack. A nice run by Basuma makes room for Richarlison on the underlap. Richarlison's ball across the front is towards Pape Sarr, and of all people, it maybe wasn't him they wanted on the end of it, the Tottenham fans. He hasn't scored too many this season, but his touch was almost enough. In the end, it was shepherded away by Man United body. It's a great delivery from the Brazilian forward, and actually Luke Shaw does excellently to come across and get a flick away. It almost fell for your doggy, but Harry Maguire was well placed to bring the ball down. And a throw in now towards Richarlison by the corner flag. Now your doggy, can he skip past Bruno Fernandes? Fernandes goes down holding his face, and unsure whether the referee's given a free kick or a throw in. I think just the throw in. Fernandes wanted the free kick. He's not going to get it. As your doggy, maybe an outstretched arm to feel where the danger was, but certainly no impediment on Fernandes. He goes down a tad bit soft, you could argue, as Manchester United look to play out, and in the end the long ball is hoofed out of play by Lenny Yoro for a Tottenham throw. Towards Solanke. Yoro is pressing him hard, and he can only run out of room on the field, but the last touch was red, and so the throw will be white. As your doggy will look to slow this one down a little bit now, as a couple of quick throw-ins almost caught United off guard. They were unsuccessful, and now we'll try a different approach with Richarlison, who dummies it for Sarr. Here going Richarlison. Can he find Pedro Porro? It's intercepted well in the middle of the park by Mason Mount, and it will trickle all the way through to the goalkeeper Onana, who will throw to Mazraoui up right back. Fernandes showing inside, but Pape Sarr looked to try and read the pass and made the interception, but Manchester United will go now with Amad Diallo. He looks back to Fernandes, who chops to keep it in field and plays it back towards his central defenders. 3 of them for United today, 5 at the back. We could split into a 3 while attacking, and the proof of it is with Patrick Dorgu on the left side. He's in possession now. He goes back to Shaw, then Maguire. Shaw again with an awkward flick down the line. Mount is able to collect it inside to Dorgu, and he's moving in field now, and that's a nice ball to escape a bit of press. And now here can come Manchester United down the right. Mazraoui and Diallo, they've looked the more threatening of the 2 wide players for Manchester United. Mount and Dorgu haven't got into the game thus far in the opening 20 minutes. It's still 0-0 here in Bilbao in the Europa League final. Manchester United in possession. Out wide to Dorgu, 50 yards from goal on the left side. Mount looks to shrug away from Bentancur, but he was strong enough to at least get a foot in and concede a throw. With Dorgu back to Luke Shaw, and he's had a mixed game so far. Shaw, 1 or 2 crucial blocks and interceptions, but also almost a costly giveaway as Brennan Johnson drove down to the byline and almost cut across for Richarlison. It was good goalkeeping by Onana. That's about as big a chance as Tottenham have had. For Man United, Amad Diallo flashed across the face of goal, was close to scoring, but just wide of the post as the ball is out wide with Dorgu now. And he can look to shape a ball to the back post. Mazraoui is attacking, but your doggy timed his jump well. Here is Amad Diallo, right-hand side of the box, looking to come inside on his left foot. Instead goes to the byline for Fernandes, and it's almost across to Rasmus Højlund, but held well by Vicario at the front post. And Rasmus Højlund is making it clear that he wants people following in at the back post. This time the cross from Fernandes not good enough, but as soon as he sees the ball wasn't towards him, Rasmus, he gave a bark towards the back post. Obviously trying to call a play that wasn't run by Manchester United there for whatever reason, as Mason Mount had held back at the edge of the penalty area. Vicario fakes to go left, instead goes right and moves away from Rasmus Højlund. Maguire deals with Solanke in the air and finds Bruno Fernandes, the Manchester United captain, in the middle of the park as he gets pressed in by Richarlison, but Manchester United, some nice one-touch football to release Mason Mount down the left. He can find Dorgu potentially, but instead opted to try and sneak inside of Bentancur. It was good challenging by Tottenham. But in the end, Brennan Johnson has been believed to have come in a little bit heavy by Felix Weyer, the German official today. The referee, as I think it may be more of the tangle of legs by Bentancur leading to Brennan Johnson's challenge, advantage possibly played by the referee that was then promptly pulled back when Johnson won possession. And Postecoglou not best pleased. I think if he saw a replay, he'd understand the referee's decision, because Bentancur was definitely impeding Mason Mount, and Shaw will have a chance to deliver the ball into the box. 22.5 minutes on the clock. Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. It's Luke Shaw's deep free kick. Again, Maguire is the target. It's over him only as far as Diallo, but Christian Romero will get there first. It will go out for a Manchester United throw-in on the right-hand side. Romero, the Tottenham captain today, jogs back inside as Diallo can stand up Destiny Udogie and gets inside well, but some clever feet by Basuma means that Tottenham come away with the ball. Richarlison, he goes through the legs of Bruno Fernandes, but then Fernandes recovers really well to win possession back and find Casemiro. Now the Portuguese captain for United again. Now Casemiro, Diallo, Mazraoui now in possession. Bruno Fernandes again looking to try and drop deep into the pockets. Fernandes goes out wide to Mazraoui, back to Fernandes on the 1-2, and this could be the start of an intensity shift for Manchester United as they lose possession, but then Diallo fights for it back off Udogie. It's instead won by Tottenham. Now here's Solanke coming in field. It's a challenge by Casemiro, who perhaps knew what he was doing, impeding Dominic Solanke intentionally there. Does well to avoid a yellow card, in fairness, the Brazilian. Christian Romero possibly asking that question. Casemiro goes sliding in. The leg never hooks round towards the ball, which means that it is debatable whether there was any intention to play it in the first place. The Manchester United number 18. He's proved himself to Ruben Amorim, and there was a period where he potentially was out of the Manchester United team, especially with the arrival of Manuel Ugarte from Paris Saint-Germain over the summer, but he's wrestled his way back in, the experienced midfielder, as a cheap ball down the line is poorly given away by Pedro Porro, as he was calling Papsar to come close and play, but instead he didn't move and Porro's ball trickled out of play. Onana shanks a ball long towards Rasmus. It's headed by Basuma, then Casemiro. It's won by Basuma in the middle of the park again, and he, brilliant footwork to skip away from Dorgu, and then looks to shape inside. Still going, Yves Basuma, but it's a great challenge by Patrick Dorgu. Shaw at the byline prevents the corner, and then Dorgu can only hook it behind for a throw into Tottenham on the right-hand side. Brilliant run by Yves Basuma. Some excellent footwork to evade Patrick Dorgu, but a compliment to the tenacity of the Danishman, because he was beaten not once but twice before he eventually got back and made a sliding challenge to win possession. And it will end up with just a throw in for Tottenham, but it could have been much worse if it wasn't for that vital intervention. Porro, can he look to swing the ball into the box? Brennan Johnson is offside. Porro looks to squeeze in a gap. Can he potentially win a corner off Dorgu? Dorgu in the end plays it off the hand of Brennan Johnson, and perhaps there's no more an obvious handball than what just happened there. The ball stopped dead on the byline, and Brennan Johnson came flying into pressure. His arm was way out wide, and Dorgu was able to just clip it against his hand. I'm not sure it was intentional, but he clips it straight against the arm of Johnson, and Johnson may as well have just caught the ball and given it straight back to Manchester United, because they've got a free kick on the byline. Just saw a replay of that chance for Amad Diallo, and it does flash ever so close across the face of goal, but Tottenham will argue they had, particularly Vicario, will argue they had their angles covered, because there was never really any chance of it nestling in the far corner past the outstretched hand of the Italian. It would have needed to beat him with pure power rather than precision, as Rasmus Højlund is pressing Tottenham high, but they've kept possession at the back, and it's long by Vicario towards Pedro Porro and Brennan Johnson. It will get to neither as Dorgu wins the header. Mason Mount evading Brennan Johnson, but then he couldn't find possession. The ball is hoof long for Solanke to chase, and he might be able to get his body in front of Harry Maguire here. He has, but Maguire does really well to get his head in front. It was a clean tussle by both men, says the referee, and then Rodrigo Bentancur can drive out. It's out wide to Udogie. He's got Richarlison on the overlap, looks to use him. Then he looks to overlap himself, but Mazraoui gets a toe in, and it'll go behind for a throw into Tottenham on the left side. The Moroccan international, Nizam Mazraoui, joined from Ajax. He was an Erik ten Hag signing, and he's been able to cement down that role at right back this season. The ball is clipped towards Richarlison. He looks to head it down to Bentancur. Doesn't quite get his angle right, but he'll get a second go as your doggy finds him. That's a nice ball by Bentancur out to your doggy, and he can look to deliver towards the back post, but there's nobody there. And Dorgu, despite claims from his goalkeeper to let it run, he chose the safer option of nodding it behind for a Tottenham corner, and it's another set piece they can swing in. The ball from Destiny Doggy perhaps can't get behind it enough, or around it rather, ends up playing a bit of a weird floaty ball across the face, and Onana had his arms out to tell Dorgu to leave it, but he didn't get the memo, and Tottenham have won themselves a relatively cheap corner. Pedro Porro will take it out swinging from the right-hand side. Luke Shaw standing up. Richarlison in the box. That's a tussle to watch, as is Rasmus and Bentancur, as Porro gives the signal and will deliver the ball once the referee is happy. He's just having a word with a few men in the box. The VAR, of course, eagle-eyed as ever, and they will spot any infringement if it happens. Porro will now deliver this ball into the box. It's towards the front post. It misses everyone. It could be Richarlison looking to flick it round the corner. Bissouma heads it across. Johnson is offside. Maguire will have time to head it away, but Bissouma's head again is unable to find a body, and it's under pressure play back by Bentancur that he has enough legs to find his goalkeeper. It could have been disastrous if not, and Solanke looks to chest the ball down off a long ball. There's your doggy. Amad Diallo steps in really well, and that's going to be a foul to Manchester United and a free kick, and that's really good by the Ivorian. Bit of head tennis in the middle of the park. The ball couldn't settle for a second there, and in the end, your doggy just had a little nibble at the legs of Amad Diallo as he stepped across, and it was always going to be a free kick in favour of the Reds. And they, after a few minutes of being camped out defensively, have the chance to come forward themselves. It's another chance for them to load the box. Fernandes goes short to Diallo, who can stand up your doggy and get the run at him. He looks to go outside. Meg goes in across the face. It's blocked by a Tottenham body and hooked away. That was excellent dribbling by Diallo, and he revs up the fans behind the goal. He has been the most threatening of the wide players. It's excellent dribbling as he fakes out, then in, and Brennan Johnson, of all people, was arriving at the front post to clear the danger away, but it was excellent by Diallo. He's been really, really enjoyable to watch, and his passion is matched by the fans as they give him a roar. The corner was denied, so it will be a throw-in for Manchester United, but not a sight they'll want to see because the captain is down, Christian Romero. He's lying with his eyes to the sky at the moment, unsure exactly what collision left him there. Possibly a little clip by Rasmus Højlund, perhaps catch him on the knee. Yeah, a knee-on-knee contact, and that one could come quite sore for him. He's still down, unsure at this point whether it's precautionary seating or whether his afternoon might be ending early. He's back onto his feet now, just testing out the weight on that right knee, and the Tottenham captain was not going to go home easily. And he's back on his feet, and play will restart with a throw-in. It's Harry Maguire to Lenny Yoro. Luke Shaw looks diagonal to Fernandes. He looks to flick it up to Diallo, and he's brought the ball down, and Mazraoui, and it was actually Fernandez's cross in the end that was blocked. Mazraoui had left the ball and gone into the box instead. Fernandes and Diallo, if it's any link-up, that's going to be the link-up that will win this game for Manchester United. They've been deadly on the duo, still waiting to see what Mason Mount can bring to this Europa League final. Not too much room for him on the right-hand side as Diallo beats Richarlison, but then his cross is way overhit. It was the right idea from the Manchester United right side player, but the execution was little to be admired as the ball is ballooned out, and Vicario will have a goal kick. And 32 minutes on the clock, 0-0 between Tottenham and Man United. And you wonder what the thoughts of those fans will be. The game has maybe been edged just about by Tottenham so far, but it's been largely an even affair. Manchester United have been a little frail in the penalty area. Defensively, offensively, Amad Diallo's looked bright, but so far hasn't been able to conjure up any magic on target as The long ball is flicked by Solanke. Now Richarlison can look to try and play. Casemiro comes flying in and wins the ball cleanly, but it only falls as far as Udogie, who plays it off Fernandes for a Tottenham throw. Fernandes not best pleased. He's complaining about the throw in as Bissouma now looks to go down the byline, and he skips ahead of two, goes down. He's not going to get a free kick for that, though, as it was deemed that he initiated the contact rather than the other way round. Yoro to Maguire as the protests continue from Tottenham, but Bissouma is out of play at the moment, and Tottenham are down to 10 men unless he can get himself up quickly as Dorgu looked to bring down a long ball, but it was just overhit and he couldn't trap the ball under his spell, and Tottenham have a throw, but Bissouma is still down. He looked to go left. He looked to play the ball left and go right round Mazraoui, and there was definitely a collision between the knees, and looking at the replay, he's possibly unlucky to not get the free kick, Yves Bissouma, because Mazraoui maybe does just lean across into Bissouma. Bissouma maybe does run into the path of Mazraoui, but he moves towards the man rather than the ball. And so the foul is in favour of Manchester United, or rather the lack of foul is favour of Manchester United. Of course, their last Premier League game of the season is at Old Trafford. They take on Aston Villa in a action-packed final day of the season. Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest, Chelsea, Newcastle and Manchester City all competing for the hopes of Champions League qualification. 3 of those 5 will make it. 2 of those will play in this competition, the Europa League. And one of these 2 teams will show the benefit of playing in that competition because they'll guarantee themselves Champions League qualification despite a subpar league season. Richarlison and Mazraoui with a collision. Udogie looks to run Amad Diallo, and he now can try and hold the ball up and wait for reinforcements, the Italian. Fernandes clipped over Udogie, and it will be a free kick in a potential place to deliver. Richarlison is going into bat on behalf of his own player. They've already won the free kick, Tottenham. I think he wants a card potentially. It's not going to be given, and Amad Diallo was trying to bring down a Tottenham player in the middle of the park. I think that's what Richarlison isn't best pleased with. The ball broke for Tottenham in the middle of the park, and it will be a yellow card for Amad Diallo for attempted professional play. The ball broke for Richarlison in the middle of the park, and Diallo, seeing that Mazraoui had lost a challenge in the middle, had tried to pull Richarlison down. He'd done well to evade the challenge, and then in the end, I think it was Maguire who came across onto Destiny Udogie. No, it was Fernandes who came across onto Udogie, the Manchester United captain, and it'll be a free kick for the Whites. About 25 yards away from goal, near the left touchline, a Manchester United line is on the penalty spot. Again, the usual suspects in the box. So Nana needs to be light on his feet if he wants to come and claim this, and it will be swung in from the right-hand side. It'll be Pedro Porro again. He's been on set-piece duty all day, and the referee is still having words with Richarlison. He's clearly not too pleased with the actions of Amad Diallo. He's got what he wanted, a yellow card for the Ivorian, though. And so the free kick now as the whistle blows, a one-man wall for Manchester United. That one man is Amad Diallo, as the ball in at the front post is horrible and blocked away. Bissouma got there first on Diallo, potentially took him down. Referee says no foul. It'll be with Vicario. Out to Papsar, now to Brennan Johnson, and we haven't seen too much from him. Can he try and get a run at Patrick Dorgu perhaps? And he looks to deliver into the box towards Solanke. Does that catch his arm? It does, and it'll be a Manchester United free kick in the box, and Solanke can have no complaints really. The cross into the box by Brennan Johnson was deflected, but the way the ball looped up, it certainly was trapped by the arm and nothing else by Dominic Solanke, and so the free kick will go in favour of Manchester United. And the appeal for a foul from Amad Diallo maybe had some legs to it. He looked to try and hook the ball away, and despite potentially not getting the ball, Diallo, the follow through by Bissouma as he won the ball was with studs, and so could be deemed it was a bit too intense of a challenge, but the referee chooses to play on a Solanke. Looks to be slipped in behind by Richarlison, but it's a poor ball. Yoro looked to leave it, and it's almost intercepted in the box by Papsar. And Yoro is furious at Onana. He was looking to shepherd the ball for the Cameroonian goalkeeper. Onana had no interest in coming, and in the end, he had to try and turn out of a tight situation. Papsar got a toe on the ball, but it would only deflect straight into the grateful hands of Onana. Game gone a little bit cagey, a little bit flat. After what was a bright 15 minutes, we're now 38 minutes played, still 0-0 in the Europa League final. Fernandes heads it down to Casemiro. It's winning the middle of the park by Fernandes, and I think he's took a knock to the head for his troubles. Dom Solanke is, I think, the guilty party. Fernandes, again, still making it very clear he wasn't best pleased with that foul. There's actually a clash of heads between him and Papsar. Actually, it wasn't anything to do with Dominic Solanke. Although it's simulation from the looks of it. No way to sugarcoat that. There's absolutely no contact on the head of Bruno Fernandes, unless that angle was particularly deceptive. He's absolutely fine on his feet, and Manchester United have possession and potentially pulled a fast one there. The Manchester United captain, they've had the lion's share of the ball and the lion's share of the passes completed, but Tottenham, when they've had the ball, have maybe looked the more threatening. Amad Diallo will have something to say against that, though, as he looks to slip Mazraoui down the right-hand side for a cross. It's blocked, and it will fall to Richarlison in the middle of the park. Udogie is on the overlap. Richarlison skips inside. Can he find Udogie on the outside? He can. He waits for reinforcements. Looks to use his pace to get away from Fernandes, but Casemiro came flying in, and Fernandes has done really well to keep the ball in, and there could be a counter on for Manchester United with Rasmus Højlund. He hasn't got in this game too much recently, but he played a nice flick to Casemiro, and Manchester United will get a free kick after a late challenge on Casemiro. He looked to play a long ball, but it was intercepted well by a Tottenham head. But before the interception was a foul by Mickey van der Ven, actually pulling away Rasmus Højlund before he released the ball. As the challenge in the middle of the park on Udogie there replayed was fair and clear. Ange Postecoglou, again, not best pleased with that. Again, I think if he saw the angles that I've seen, he wouldn't have too many complaints, as Diallo looks to skip inside and take a low drive, but it's straight down the throat of Vicario, I think, via a slight deflection, and be very easy to claim for the Italian, as I think play might be stopped here for a head injury for Diallo. No, Tottenham will do the right thing and put the ball out of play, as Diallo is still on the ground, I think holding the back of his head, actually. And I think medical staff might be coming on to just take a little look there. I wonder if it was maybe a collision with the floor after he takes his shot, possibly. Drills it low and then sort of leans up against Richarlison. I'm not too sure where the impact on the head was, but there was a nasty head collision to the hip. It doesn't look like there's anything on his head at all. Maybe just holding his head to get a stoppage, but he's back to his feet, holding the back of his head and his neck, but should be fine. The impact didn't seem too disastrous, and the Manchester United star man so far of this game, really, he's been their best player, can get up and continue. As Matthijs de Ligt watches on from the touchline, he misses out from this game by maybe a week or so for Manchester United, as he's down, and he went down injured a couple of weeks ago and will probably miss the remainder of the season. Probably won't be able to play at Old Trafford against Aston Villa on Sunday, as Solanke loses out on possession. Van der Ven denies the ball in behind to Diallo. Basuma looks to head to Richarlison, but it's intercepted well by Mazraoui. Fernandes looks for Casemiro, but Papsar read it well in the middle of the park, and he's been trying to keep his thumb on the pulse of Bruno Fernandes so far and has had some success. He can find Richarlison on the left-hand side now. The ball is towards Bentancur in the penalty area. That's a nice ball by Richarlison. Doesn't have much option on, though. Bentancur, and the ball is across at the front post. It's Brennan Johnson. It's in! Tottenham take the lead. Brennan Johnson at the front post. A huge goal in the Europa League final. And eyes might look towards Andre Onana because it's squandered at the near post. Didn't seem the cleanest of contacts. And it's first blood to Ange Postecoglou and first blood to Tottenham in the Europa League final. Pandemonium on one side of this stadium. Pandemonium in the city of London. First blood to Spurs And it's Brennan Johnson with his 5th goal in the competition. And Tottenham have hit the front. It was Bentancur who made a good run. It was delivered into the box by your doggy, and it was sort of, I think it hits the knee of Johnson. He goes at it with his right boot, and in the end it actually flicks between his legs off his knee, and Onana desperately couldn't claw it out of the near post. It's an own goal actually off Luke Shaw. Looking at it, Brennan Johnson doesn't get the cleanest of touches. It flicks off his knee and then up off the shoulder of Luke Shaw and past his own goalkeeper. Tottenham won't care. That will definitely go down as an own goal. But Tottenham don't care in the slightest. Brennan Johnson doesn't care in the slightest. And the Tottenham fans that have erupted behind the goal certainly do not care. And Tottenham Hotspur are now 50 minutes away from European glory. It's Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. The game is back underway. And they've possibly been the better team in this game, Tottenham, in terms of threats in front of goal. Man United have grown into the game. They didn't start well. And it was always going to be a moment of madness at the back. But this one perhaps more down to bad luck than anything. But it take nothing away from the excellence of the run by Bentancur and the cross by Udogie. I have Ruben Amorim with plenty to ponder on the bench. And a goal just before half-time is exactly what you don't need. 43 minutes on the clock. It's 1-0 and Fernandes with the chance to swing the ball into the box with a deep free kick. It's towards Casemiro. It's away by Richarlison and it'll go out for a Manchester United throw in. And now suddenly there's a bitterness potentially in the end of the Manchester United fans because half-time 0-0, you would have expected them to build in the second half. Half-time 1-0 and you look at potentially the slow startness and the lack of pressure they've had in front of goal and you might suggest they could have found another gear in this first half. Can Diallo find another gear here on the right side? Fernandes was showing. Instead, it will go to Mazraoui as they try and work an angle for the cross. It's a beautiful ball by Casemiro towards Bruno Fernandes. It's blocked well by Van der Ven. And Manchester United turned it on for a second there. That was excellent stuff by the midfield. Udogie looks to clear the ball away, finds Richarlison. It bounces back off him and Mazraoui is now with it. Fernandes is delivery towards Rasmus Højlund, away by Bentancur, only as far as Casemiro, but Bissouma got there first. Now Luke Shaw, excellent football by Manchester United for a second. An unbelievably cute first-time dink by Casemiro towards Fernandes, and his half volley was blocked really well. And that, I said they need to find another gear. That was the best bit of football we've seen all game. It goes to the side losing. And before the half, can Manchester United hit back and find a response? It's Dorgu. Now Luke Shaw, the unfortunate scorer of that own goal. Onana, who couldn't claw the ball away at the near post. And then Euro. Onana. Ball with Luke Shaw, and we're into additional time of the half, and it will be 2 added minutes. 2 minutes for Tottenham to see the half out and go in at half-time of a European final, a goal up. They maybe will feel shades of a few years ago when they lost to Liverpool in the Champions League final when this game started, but now they've gone in front rather than behind. The ball in by Udogie, or I think it's Pape Sarr actually, is excellent. And Brennan Johnson, I wonder whether he maybe steals the goal himself. It was a weird bounce in the box. It was off the knee of Johnson and off the shoulder of Luke Shaw. And I think on the goal line, Brennan Johnson sweeps a leg, and maybe if we borrow some cricket tech, look at Ultra Edge, there may have been a nick by Brennan Johnson that might give him claim to the goal. He will want it badly, but ultimately it doesn't care as Fernandes can play a deep ball into the box towards Maguire. It's headed way by Romero, only as far as Diallo. Now Luke Shaw. Maguire wants it, but he won't find it. It's away by Romero again. And again, it's only as far as Diallo. 45 seconds left of this half. The ball in by Diallo is claimed by Vicario. And Tottenham have possession with 40 seconds to go in the half. They possibly know that that's half-time. The Tottenham fans have given it a huge roar. Amad Diallo has been trying, but not able to breach this Tottenham defence so far. And the party starting perhaps a bit prematurely for Tottenham, but certainly at half-time, the advantage was with them as Richarlison could try and make their half-time break. Nice. That's wonderful footwork to beat Mazraoui, and he can deliver, and it's way over hit, and there'll be no danger of a goal from that cross as Dorgu shepherds it behind for a Manchester United throw-in, but the half-time whistle has gone. And at half-time in Bilbao, it's Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. Well, the players are back out for the second half, and some big team talks from both managers. Expectedly, Ruben Amorim, what do you say to a group of players who are losing a European final? What is there to say other than to go out there and put it all out there, put it all on the line, leave yourselves out on the pitch for Tottenham? And Ange Postecoglou, well, he was obviously preparing some form of team talk. You wonder how much that changed with his side taking a late lead in the half. Plenty of football and plenty of managerial chess to go here, with 45 minutes plus potentially extra time and penalties in the Europa League final. It's Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0, with the second half getting underway. Fernandes back to Onana to get the second half underway. And I've got a dry throat and I'm going to have some water to start the half. Oh, how unprofessional. No changes from either side. Christian Romero's gone down immediately into the half. I think maybe a collision with his own player, actually. Papsar, as he went up for a header. Seen a little bit of a delayed reaction from Romero. He went up for the header and took a few steps before sort of flopping to the floor and then getting onto one knee to maybe just catch his breath. Running down the clock, perhaps already begun for Tottenham. They've got 44 minutes until they lift this trophy. So the ball is down the line towards Mason Mount. Rasmus knocks it into his feet. Mount inside. Can he be the difference maker as he finds Dorgu on the left and he gives the ball away via a throw into Tottenham as his touch was a little bit loose and the chance is over. Porro will take the throw in from the right side, and Tottenham now. Do you go for a second goal? Do you stick or do you twist? In European finals, they tend to be cagey affairs, but one mistake could change this game completely as Solanke looks to skip inside. He's told to get up as he hits the deck as Luke Shaw nearly took him out. And Lenny Yoro finds Casemiro in the middle of the park. The ball with Maguire, who finds Luke Shaw. He's got Dorgu with him. Tries to find Mount. It's blocked and they'll be forced to go from the back again, Tottenham. There's a nice infield ball by Casemiro is to Diallo, who takes one touch and knocks it back home as pressure from Richarlison was looming. Down the line to Diallo as Basuma came across and put it out for a throw in line with the edge of the penalty area or so, as he avoids immediate danger there, the midfielder for Tottenham. Maguire. It's in the gap to Diallo, who flicks it out wide to Mazraoui nicely. Here's Fernandes. Can he pick a pass? He finds back to Mazraoui into Amad Diallo's feet, and he could try and bend it. Maybe it's Rasmus Højlund's header is two underneath it. He got, and over the bar it went. A glimpse from Manchester United, though, as they look to try and break the lines. Amad Diallo found himself in a little bit of room. He maybe could have gone for the shot, but went for a cross instead, and it was an awkward height for Højlund, who ended up having to stoop low to get a head on it, and he went too low, and the ball sprung into the air. And Tottenham will have a goal kick. 48 minutes on the clock. Tottenham 0, Manchester United 0. Lovely header by Solanke. Harry Maguire launches it away. It's headed by Van der Ven, but it was deemed he went into the challenge too strongly and will be given a yellow card for his troubles as Rasmus Højlund goes down and wins a free kick for Manchester United. The Dutchman Mickey van der Ven, he's been in and out of the team mainly with hamstring problems. This time it's his shoulder that's caused problems for Manchester United, although it isn't injury related, it's set piece related, as Manchester United will have the chance to swing a ball into the box here from the right hand side, and it will be the reliable boot of Bruno Fernandes who will do it. The Tottenham line is at the edge of the penalty area. The Manchester United free kick is about 40 or so yards out on the right-hand side of the field. Fernandes is giving the signal and he plays the ball into the box. It's won at first contact by Bissouma. Second contact is Bentancur. Luke Shaw at the edge of the box to try and recycle. Back to Mazraoui. Plays a 1-2 with Shaw, but I think the flag has gone up against the Manchester United man, and Maguire and Romero are exchanging pleasantries, shall we say, I think they were jostling in the penalty area. Maguire ended up pulling the Argentine to the floor. Wonder if it was a foul given rather than offside, actually. And just an unfortunate close-up shown by this TV feed of the lips of Christian Romero, and anyone who could make out that would know that the language was vulgar, as the ball is long by Vicario and it's hooked into the air by Papsar. Casemiro's header. Bentancur looks to nod it down for Johnson. Luke Shaw looks to clip it down the line, and he can't find a Manchester United body, and so it will go straight for a Tottenham throw. The unfortunate scorer of the own goal, Luke Shaw. Not a lot he could do about it, maybe. The ball sort of just hits him, but Johnson's contact could have been clearer, and he could have gone in front of Johnson in the first place. And speaking of Johnson, he's hit the deck, and it's no foul as pressure is on Onana to play the ball long, and he does towards Rasmus. It's a nice header towards Amad Diallo, but Destiny Udogie was aware of the danger. Vicario out wide to Porro, infield to Bentancur, finds Brennan Johnson, the Welshman, signed from Nottingham Forest last season. And Nottingham Forest are a side who could be playing Champions League football alongside Tottenham as things stand. Well, for Forest, they need results to go their way on the last day, but Tottenham will be in the Champions League as things stand. Next season, they'll be going all the way around Europe as Papsar has gone flying into Casemiro, and Casemiro has hit the deck, and it is a foul against the Brazilian. Brennan Johnson. Bissouma. The Manchester United shape is compact, and he's forced to go backwards. It's Pedro Porro into Sarr. And in the end, it'll go out of play for a Manchester United throw-in as the footwork wasn't tidy enough by the byline by Pat Sarr. And Luke Shaw will find Harry Maguire at the back. Now here's Lenny Yoro. Field to Diallo, not wide to Mazraoui. Inside to Yoro. Now Maguire. 52 minutes on the clock here. Manchester United chasing the game. They need a roll of the dice soon. I wonder whether that will come through substitutions as Dorgu finds a nice pass to release Bruno Fernandes, and he plays a nice ball down the line towards Mount, and Christian Romero came flying across and thwacked it against Mason Mount, and it will go behind for a throw-in in favour of Tottenham. And they're in no rush to get the game underway. There's Borrow still just walking up the line with the ball, stealing a few yards along towards Solanke. It's Manchester United head that puts it out, which means it'll be a Tottenham throw once again, and Pedro Porro will begin his walk once again. This time to Bentancur. Fernandes looked to put himself about, but it was hooked away towards Richarlison on the switch, and he was pulled down surely, yes, by Mazraoui. The referee blows his whistle, and Mazraoui has no complaints. The Moroccan right back. It was a nice touch by Richarlison, and he showed the defender the right side of the ball from his perspective, which was barely any of it to begin with. He had to go round Richarlison if he wanted to get anywhere near the ball, and in going round, he ends up bringing the man down, and it'll be a Tottenham free kick just outside of their own half. The ball clipped down the line. Headed by Richarlison, but the flag goes up against Sarr, who looked to try and make an overlapping run. Onana short to Maguire. Now Luke Shaw. Dorgu. It's inside to Diallo. Was he pulled down there? He was. Manchester United will get the free kick. Mason Mount will run and collect the ball to get things underway. I think Bentancur, just had a hand on the shoulder. Was a foul. And Manchester United get possession back underway with Casemiro. Inside by Mount towards Højlund. Nice leave for Casemiro. Looks inside for Diallo, but Mickey Van de Ven sorted his feet out in time to hook the ball away. Inside to Maguire. Now Yoro into Mazraoui. He can maybe look to cut inside and does, and looks for a diagonal ball towards Dorgu, but Pedro Porro has read that and absolutely thwacked it into the air. And the ball only just coming down now as it lands in the crowd, which one fan will hope to take home as a souvenir, you'd imagine, although the ball boy recovers the ball and Manchester United have possession. Yoro. Mazraoui into Fernandes. Gathered again by him, Richarlison with a high but fair challenge on Fernandes as he met him at chest height to clear the ball. Maguire now looking to drive over the halfway line. Finds Fernandes. He goes back to Shaw. Dorgu is the option on the left and it's used. Casemiro is showing inside. He isn't used and instead of diagonal is out wide towards Mazraoui. But your doggy was aware of the danger. Richarlison fairly taking the ball off Amad Diallo, and then he gets taken over and grabbed the ball, as a lot of players do if they believe they've been fouled, and the referee gave handball as Richarlison cheeky in stopping possession from being played quickly by Manchester United a couple of times there. Well, he's down on the floor. First a grab of the ball, then a little kick of it as they look to go quickly. Bit of dark arts from the Brazilian as Diallo looks to get down the line, and he can only run out of room on the line, and it'll be a Manchester United, Tottenham throw-in. Manchester United have conceded possession. Looks to try and run your doggy down the line, but I think he tried to play really tight to the touchline, maybe not expecting your doggy to allow him that. And when your doggy showed him the byline, he could only run out of room. It's sharp defending as Richarlison looks to turn away from Mazraoui. He won't get the throw in, much to his frustration, and so Manchester United will get things underway as Fernandes is taken out, and it will be a free kick to him. It's been a bit flat, a bit scrappy this second half. That favours Ange Postecoglou and Tottenham Hotspurs. 57 minutes on the clock. Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0, with Mazraoui is taken out by Richarlison, and Richarlison is a one-man army trying to get booked, and at last he succeeds. I think at least 4 things he's done in the last few minutes have warranted a yellow card. He's done deliberate handball, he's done stopping of play, he's done cynical challenges, he's been squaring up to people, and at last he gets the yellow card he's been on the lookout for by clipping over Mazraoui. Fernandes has the chance to deliver from the right-hand side. Fernandes over it. This will be taken out swinging. Maguire has been the target for all set pieces so far. They need to watch him very carefully indeed as Fernandes puts an arm in the air, swings it in towards the front post. Vicario's missed it, and it's, oh my goodness me, Fernandes I think went for goal, and Vicario was in all sorts of trouble, and it almost ended up squirming in. I think it was Lenny Yoro who got the final touch. An excellent idea by Bruno Fernandes. And Yoro at the front post is so close to being able to flick this ball home. In the end, it's squirmed away, I think, by Dominic Solanke as Fernandes goes for a diagonal ball towards Dorgu as Porro reads it and gets ahead, and it only out for a throw-in to Manchester United. And could that be a spur of momentum maybe for United? Thrown short to Casemiro. Now Yoro. Mazraoui. Diallo. Tidy footwork from him before he's forced back by Udogie to Yoro. Casemiro to Dorgu. Shaw will take the overlap on. Here is Luke Shaw. Can he find Mason Mount in the box? Mount does really well to evade 1, 2, 3 challenges. It's a brilliant run by Mason Mount, but then he runs out of room and Tottenham win possession via a throw-in as Porro plays the ball off a United body. It was a glimpse there of what Mason Mount can do as he had a low centre of gravity to squirm away from a couple of challenges. He looked almost as if he was going to fall over at all points, and in the end did lose his footing. Yoro. Diallo. He can drive towards your doggy. He looks to shape inside. Richarlison had a little nibble. Fernandes can maybe try and stand a man up to get a cross into the box. Can he find a bit of space? Here's Lenny Yoro in the Europa League final. Will he go for goal? Instead, it's towards Maguire. This is good pressure from Manchester United. Best they've had so far. Luke Shaw's cross is blocked by Johnson. Solanke hooks it away. Onana will gather. Manchester United had Tottenham penned in for a second there, but they couldn't find an angle for the ball into the box. Here's Dorgu. The overlap is Mason Mount. Here is Mason Mount. Can he find room into the box? That's for Rasmus Højlund, and it's well shepherded by Tottenham, and Vicario claims Højlund putting himself about in the penalty area with 60 minutes on the clock. That was almost a leveller. Mason Mount with some nice vision to try and find him. In fact, it was actually a nice block by Christian Romero that denied the ball into Højlund. I think Mount had picked that pass perfectly, and it was well defended by Tottenham. The long ball hits Richarlison on the head, and it will go for a Manchester United throw-in. Maguire. Shaw. Dorgu. Down the line to Mason Mount, and he's come alive in the last few minutes here. Mason Mount, as he comes inside, looks for Dorgu. It's blocked only as far as Papsar. He can clear away. Maguire. Casemiro. Fernandes out wide. Intercepted well. And here could come a Tottenham counter-attack now with Brennan Johnson. He's one of the fastest players on the pitch, and he has space in front of him to run. He doesn't have all too many options in the penalty area. Dorgu slid in. Did he get any of the board? Brennan Johnson says no. The referee says he did. And it'll be a Manchester United throw-in, I think, as he actually played it off the legs of him. We'll see on this replay whether that decision was correct, and it absolutely was not. That was a stonewall foul on Brennan Johnson, but Manchester United get away with it, and they've been the better team in this second half. Here's room for Mount. Now space for Dorgu. Can he cut across? Only as far as Amad Diallo. It's Diallo cutting inside, and he should have took the shot on, but instead he went for one more touch, and it wasn't enough to beat his man. Here's Solanke. Now the counter-attack could be on again with Udogie. It's 3-on-2 here for Tottenham. It's Udogie and Solanke. It goes for Dominic Solanke. It's 1-on-1, but his touch was poor. And Harry Maguire was able to make the defence. And what a huge moment that was for Manchester United and Tottenham in this game. And Dom Solanke in the Europa League final should have scored. Huge moment. 3-on-2. Tottenham play it perfectly. Solanke has so much room. And his first touch is loose and Maguire gets away. One touch and then along the floor across the body would have been a trademark 1-on-1 striker's finish. He must have been so focused on part two, he didn't trap the ball under his spell, and Maguire was able to get back. But Tottenham prove after 17 minutes of camping in their own box, they have firepower on the counter-attack if they can play it. That should have been 2-0. Porro with the throw-in now. Real warning shot for Manchester United there, because they've been utterly dominant in this second period, but could and really should have been caught out there. Diallo. Inside to Fernandes. Casemiro. Dorgu. Back to Casemiro, and again, it's Manchester United penning Tottenham in. Here's Maguire. Loose pass towards Yoro, but he will gather it in the end, just wider than anticipated as he looks to skip inside here. And this is a nice run from the Frenchman. Can he find a teammate? He can. Was he caught on the ankle? The referee says no. Here's Harry Maguire. Out wide to Amad Diallo. And here's a nice moment for the Ivorian to stand up Richarlison down the byline. But Richarlison does really well to scrap in front of him and win possession on a yellow card as well. Richarlison, he hooks it down the line towards Solanke, and he almost got away, but Fernandes with a nice touch. Important moments in the game, this, for Manchester United, because time is slowly ticking away. And despite a lot of dominance, they haven't created all too many chances in this tie. And they risk the Europa League final getting away from them. Richarlison looks to release Udogie. Yoro's header is out for a throw-in. And Manchester United give the ball away. Udogie will have a throw-in. Let's see. I think a Tottenham player has hit the deck. It is Richarlison. And while he lands on the floor, I'm just going to take the opportunity to refill my water. And it's a time for tactical instructions. This for both the managers. Richarlison, I think, is receiving some treatment on the ground, and Amorim has called his players over. Might be a change of boots, possibly, for Richarlison. Maybe no, just taking his boot off to relieve some pressure on his foot. And the Tottenham fans enjoying this moment of peace to have a sing-song. And this is a substitution that I think we all expected to see. The first change is made by Ange Postecoglou. And on comes the club captain, the main man for Tottenham. Number 7, Heung-min Son, is on. And Richarlison is taken off. He's either injury not enough to play on, or he was planned to come off anyway. But on comes Heung-min Son. And now for Tottenham, the marquee man is on the field. And can he cause some problems for United in this last half an hour? Udogie. He's a little late on Diallo, and it will be a free kick to Manchester United. I don't think he expected the Ivorian to press quite as heavily as he did. And so he ended up kicking out the legs from underneath him. Here's Bissouma in the middle of the park. 67 minutes on the clock. Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. Dorgu with a nice interception here. And United could be away on the counter-attack now with Diallo. In the end, he's taken out in the middle of the park. I think it was by... Bissouma's getting a yellow card. I don't think it was Bissouma who did the foul, but impeding a quick start, I think he was. It was actually Heung-min Son who brought down Diallo, and then Bissouma immediately runs over and stands right in front of the ball as Diallo looked to get play moving quickly. And it is a earned yellow card for Yves Bissouma in the middle of the park here for Tottenham. Fernandes has a free kick, probably a bit too far to float into the box. And he goes for it anyway. Oh, and Vicario's missed it. Oh, what a clearance off the line. Oh, my goodness. It could fall for Tottenham still. It's Yoro. It's blocked. Still could be. Son clears it away. Nice footwork. Oh, my goodness me. What has just happened here? Vicario with almost an absolute howler. And then the most remarkable of goal line clearances from a Tottenham defender. That was unbelievable. Fernandes went for the long ball. Vicario looked to come and punch. Completely missed it. Fluffed his lines. Rasmus Højlund went for a header. And off the line, Mickey van der Ven has overhead kicked the ball in the Europa League final off the goal line. And Vicario, he's gone up to claim the ball. And the ball has hit him square in the face. That is the most remarkable of errors. Rasmus Højlund's header was really good goalwards. And Van der Ven has gone flying in to clear the ball away. Unbelievable clearance by the Dutchman. Manchester United. Well, if you thought you'd seen it all, unbelievable. How is this game not 1-1? And how has Rasmus Højlund not scored that? He's done nothing wrong. It is an outrageous clearance by Mickey van der Ven. It is unbelievably good defending. It is defending worthy of lifting the trophy. Will him and his team get there? 21 minutes to go. Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. Long ball towards Son. Your doggy steps in. Can he squeeze the ball to Son? No, he can't. As Mazraoui and Diallo exchange passes, and Diallo gives it away to Son. Now here's Bentancur. Back to Van de Ven. Vicario goes long. Headed by Maguire. Then by Basuma. Then Sarr looks to flick it on. Maguire blocks it. Now Casemiro works it wide to Dorgu. What can he create from this left-hand side position? He's forced backwards because he was well shepherded by Pedro Porro. Now Lenny Yoro. And Mazraoui. Here is Yoro. 20 minutes to go. Tottenham still with that precarious 1-goal lead. It looks about as slim as it has. As the sighs of relief are still being heard from that Rasmus Højlund chance. And now Tottenham can try and press Manchester United in for a little bit as the ball is swept through to Mazraoui and then out wide, but Porro makes the interception. Now here comes Pedro Porro for Tottenham. Looks to switch play towards Son. Lenny Yoro gets up. Your doggy's header towards Son is... Here is Yeonbin Son, the Korean, but he couldn't find a pass, and Solanke has dragged down Lenny Yoro, and it will be a foul and a free kick. As a substitution is now being made, a roll of the dice for Manchester United, and it's a double sub. It is Rasmus for Zirkzee. It is Diallo for Garnacho, I believe. Although, could be wrong on that Diallo shout. He might just be receiving instructions. I wonder if it might be Mason Mount. It is Mason Mount for Alejandro Garnacho. So a more overt winger coming in on that left-hand side. Mason Mount grew into the game in the end. He didn't get much shoeing in the first half, but in the second half he had a few moments, but was ultimately unable to breach this Tottenham defence. No one from this Manchester United team has been able to breach this defence. The closest they came was Rasmus Højlund. A huge error by Vicario that was blushes spared by Mickey van de Ven, who an acrobatic effort to clear the ball off the line spectacularly. As here can come Manchester United. They have 19 minutes to rescue their season. A reminder of the stakes here. One of these managers is staring down the barrel of the worst season in their club's history. The other manager is going to get away scot-free with a trophy on their side. Mazraoui in towards Fernandes, wide of the post. Big chance. Big chance. And of all people, Bruno Fernandes wasn't able to get there. It was a lovely ball by Mazraoui. Fernandes had found space, and his diving header is a few yards wide in the end, and he has to do so much better with this chance. Gets his direction horribly wrong, and Vicario grateful to watch that ball fly harmlessly wide. The Manchester United captain was unable to be the inspiring man of this comeback thus far, as his header is flicked towards Casemiro. Now Maguire. 3 shots for Tottenham, 8 for Manchester United. 1 goal for Tottenham, and it didn't come from a Tottenham shot. It was no goal by Luke Shaw, unless maybe Brennan Johnson got a little touch on the line. It remains to be seen who the goal has been awarded to. I'm not sure of that as of right now. There's Diallo is still on the field on that right-hand side. I was wrong in thinking he may have been substituted off, and he's been a threat for Manchester United, so nice to see him still on the field. As Garnacho is clattered into by Bentancur and will win a Manchester United throw-in. And can he write his name in Manchester United history by rescuing this game? They've got 17 minutes to go. Maguire. To Garnacho. Standing up Pedro Porro. Can he find something Argentine? Little step over. Looks to get to the byline. Gets the ball into the box. And it's looped into the arms of Vicario. And it's a grateful claim by the Italian Tottenham goalkeeper. Signs of life, though, from Alejandro Garnacho. He looked to stood up Pedro Porro well. It's good defending from the Spaniard. And Zirkzee was never getting anywhere near the ball as it landed straight on the head, basically, of Vicario. And he plucked it out the sky nicely as he goes long towards Solanke. Son was lurking, but Fernandes was able to find Zirkzee. Now Fernandes out wide to Garnacho. That's a nice ball. And now can Garnacho drive inwards towards goal. He's going diagonally. Here is Alejandro Garnacho. It's saved by Vicario down to his left. Manchester United are turning up the heat. It was a lovely pass from Fernandes out to the left-hand side, and Garnacho looked to use Porro as a shield, aimed towards the bottom corner. Might have been sneaking into side netting. Vicario got a strong hand to it to flick it wide of the post, and it goes out for a corner. And Bruno Fernandes will deliver the ball in from the right-hand side. Garnacho's shown life since he came onto the field. It's a third corner of the game for the Red Devils. In on the right by Fernandes. Maguire arriving. It won't find him. Can Diallo reload? Now Fernandes. Through the legs of Bissouma. Now Diallo, can he get to the byline? And Brennan Johnson with some excellent defending. And Diallo so close to finding the moment. They just need to win one of these key duels, Manchester United. They need to find a moment to create something clear-cut, because it hasn't come from them. It's come from Tottenham's mistakes where Manchester United have had chances. Fernandes gets another chance at the corner. It's in at the front post. It misses everyone. It's only as far as Luke Shaw. Can he get a shot away? It's blocked by Papsari. He'll find Mazraoui. Out wide to Fernandes. And Fernandes has room here. Sets it back towards Casemiro, but it's blocked by Udogie. Now Tottenham can go on the counter-attack. Here's Heung-min Son. He's got Brennan Johnson and Udogie with him. It's a great challenge in the middle of the park by Dorgu. And here can come Manchester United again with Fernandes. It's all getting a little bit frantic as both sides realise there's not long left. 14 minutes to go. 76 on the clock. Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. Here's Alejandro Garnacho on the left-hand side. As Luke Shaw on the overlap finds him. Can Shaw deliver it? It's a sliding challenge. He hasn't got any of the ball, but I think it's going to go out for a goal kick in the end. Referee saying that the contact on Porro, or by Porro, wasn't clear enough. It was more a sliding to attempt to block the ball. As we're getting a replay of that excellent challenge in the middle of the park by Dorgu on Son. And then here, that is definitely a foul by Pedro Porro on Luke Shaw. He gets none of the ball and kicks through the side of Shaw's leg. It would have been a free kick just outside the box. Had that been in the box, VAR would have had a good long look and probably awarded the decision in favour of Ruben Amorim's Manchester United. 14 minutes to go. Vicario goes long. Flicked by Solanke. Son wasn't making the run, which means Yoro has plenty of time to recover. Here's Luke Shaw. Alejandro Garnacho. He can drive down the line here with Casemiro in support. Back to Shaw. It's a loose pass, so Manchester United will have to regroup as it was behind the Englishman. Now Maguire. Lenny Yoro. Amad Diallo on the right-hand side. Yoro again. Diallo again. And now he's got a little bit of room to maybe drive forward. Son was shepherding and he has to go back to Yoro again, who takes a positive touch forward to try and find a pass. There's nothing on for him, so he goes back to Fernandes, looks to try and play a cute slide rule pass in through to Joshua Zirkzee. It's blocked away and then he can clip it out wide towards Shaw. On the left-hand side now, Garnacho is in support, as is Casemiro, who looks for an outside-the-boot ball. It's blocked by Benton Kerr. And Brennan Johnson, for the first time in what feels like an eternity, will win possession for Tottenham because he's played the ball off a Manchester United body and it will go out for a throw into them. The nerves are real in this stadium. And a substitution will be made by Tottenham, and it's Kevin Danso who's coming on. I think it's going to be a very defensive change because I think the goal scorer, Brennan Johnson, is coming off. And it will be Kevin Danso, the Austrian, coming on. So a defender coming on for an attacking player. What a moment that would be for Brennan Johnson in his career if that goal is to be the winning moment. As he's off and Kevin Danso is on. It looks like him maybe moving to 2 up top, Tottenham. It could be 4-4-2 with Son and Solanke up top, or 4-5-1 maybe with Son dropping into the middle of the park and leaving Solanke up there on his own, as Manchester United will surely apply all the pressure in these last 11 minutes. It's Casemiro. Maguire. Can they force extra time? Yoro. Driving forward. Mazraoui. Diallo. Just by the corner of the penalty area now. Ball into the box by Casemiro. It's behind everyone. It's flicked away by Papsar. It'll be a Manchester United throw-in that will be taken by Luke Shaw to Garnacho, will it? No, it's shielded away, and then eventually he does go back to Garnacho, who'd found himself in a little bit of room. Here is Alejandro Garnacho. Casemiro. Yoro. Will he fancy himself to go for goal? Instead, he comes inside and finds Amad Diallo. Will he find the cross? Casemiro looks for a cute ball into Fernandez. It's headed away by Ganso. It's Garnacho to Maguire. Now, Casemiro again, and Lenny Yoro, who's stepped forward and is almost playing as a central midfielder now, with Diallo sweeping out to Mazraoui. It's blocked by Bissouma, and it'll run for a Manchester United throw-in by the corner flag. Taken quickly to Diallo. And he has room to deliver the cross, which he will towards Xerxes. It's away by Van der Ven. Solanke gets up, but can only head it to Maguire. Maguire to Lenny Yoro. Mazraoui back to Yoro, and now to Casemiro. Maguire. Casemiro. There's space for Amad Diallo. Can he find the right pass? He goes to the byline to Mazraoui. It's cut across. It's headed tennis in the penalty area. It was 3 Tottenham headers before it was cleared away eventually by Van der Ven. Now it's only as far as Lenny Yoro. Can he get to the byline himself here? It's Yoro looking to clip it across. There's nobody at the back post, but Garnacho will recover it by the corner flag. All the pressure is Manchester United. It's out to Fernandez. Can he find a moment? Will he take the shot on? It's cleared away. It's only as far as Garnacho looks to cut it across to Xerxes, but it's hooked away. And Manchester United, this solid pressure is so difficult for Tottenham to deal with. They've got 9 more minutes plus stoppage time to hold on. Dorgu. Maguire. Fernandez. Here is Garnacho. He's in a little bit of room to stand up Pedro Porro, but Porro times his challenge really well. And that's a huge roar from the Tottenham fans, as maybe now Tottenham can find themselves an outball. It's up to Solanke to play hold-up. And hold-up he has against Harry Maguire, and looks to get down the line, and he skips away from Bruno Fernandes here. Here can come Tottenham. It's only as far as Heung-min Son. Can Son find it? It's a really great challenge by Mazraoui. And Tottenham suddenly showed signs of life in the attack for the first time this half. They've had twice now. They've almost created a 2-on-1 situation, but the touch just let them down. As here comes Garnacho on the left-hand side. Fernandez clipsing it in towards Xerxes, and it will run all the way through, and Vicario will claim the ball, and Ruben Amorim is turning to his bench once again. He's seen enough, potentially, of this 11 on the field. Maybe there'll be a change to try and rescue this game. Vicario will take the long ball. Hoofed high in the sky, out of the picture, back into the picture, and onto the head of Harry Maguire. Bissouma towards Son, back to Bissouma. Back to Son. Looks towards Solanke in behind, but was intercepted by Yoro. Now Maguire. Luke Shaw's on the left-hand side. If he wants to take it, Maguire instead looks to clip a ball out wide to Diallo. It's headed by Udogie infield to Son. 7 minutes to go here. Son looks down the line towards Udogie. It's Diogo Dalot who looks set to enter the field momentarily. He's had a few injury problems, but in his absence, the right-back slot has been claimed well and played well by Youssef Mazraoui. It's Luke Shaw on the left with Garnacho in front of him. Here is Garnacho. He looks to wriggle himself into a little bit of room. Here's Shaw. Garnacho again, standing up Porro. This has been an interesting bout since Garnacho came on. He's made plenty of room for Shaw. Can he deliver into the box? Instead, ups against it and goes back to Maguire. 7 minutes to go here. Still Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. Here's Mazraoui. Now Diallo on the right-hand side. Little step over as he stands up Udogie. Looks to skip inside, but Udogie makes a clean challenge. And now again, the Tottenham counter-attack could be on. The furthest body forward is the Tottenham left-back, but they could come flying up in support now, Tottenham, as Udogie is brought down by Xerxes. And Tottenham have a free kick, and it's a first bit of possession in the Manchester United half. All half, it seems, and a yellow card is brandished there to Joshua Xerxes. And this will be a great chance for Tottenham to run down the clock. Could that goal at the end of the first half proved the difference. Your doggy looked to come inside, and I think there was just a little kick through maybe by Xerxes that was raising alarms for the referee. I'm not sure his shoulder-to-shoulder challenge was anything particularly wrong with it, but he does kick through slightly the defender. And Mazraoui is going to make way, and on comes Diogo Dalot. And Mazraoui has his head and his hands on the bench. He wanted to be out there and give everything for his team for these last 6 minutes, but he will now watch from the touchline as Manchester United will try and salvage something, at very least force extra time in this Europa League final. Son has a free kick. The centre-halves are up, Danso and Romero. The setup looks ready to be at the back post. Son looks to clip it towards the byline. It's almost there for Danso, and that was a good chance for Tottenham and Kevin Danso. The ball from Son was brilliant into the box, and Danso had beaten the offside trap. And if he could have gotten anything on that ball, that would have been 2-0, and that would have been game over. But Manchester United survived. They've rode their luck a little bit there. And Yeni Loro can bring the ball forward now. Here's Xerxes in the gap, finds Diallo. And I think there was a foul actually on Xerxes by Bissouma. Felix Weyer, the German referee, calls it. Fernandez will take a quick free kick to the back post towards Harry Maguire. It's headed across the face of goal, and it's gathered comfortably by Vicario. I think the flag might have been up anyway against them. They took it a bit quick, Manchester United, and I don't think the attacking line was quite organised. And some words between Romero and Maguire again. I think, yeah, Maguire was comfortably offside in the end, and the chance came to nothing. Maguire was pulled down in that Tottenham free kick, and Danso was millimetres away from turning this ball in, so close at full stretch to getting some contact on the ball. Onana at the near post would have felt confident to have got behind the ball, but it's an excellent run, an excellent ball by Solanke, an excellent run by Danso as Papsar is the furthest man forward and is jostling for possession. He's not going to win it as Casemiro can play a long diagonal ball. Udogie will head away. It's only as far as Joshua Xerxes, and this is a good chance for Manchester United because Tottenham are out of position. Here is Xerxes. Can he come inside? It's Joshua Xerxes. It's blocked only as far as Dalot on the right-hand side. Can he find a cross into the box? He's got Fernandez and Diallo with him. Here is Diallo. Maguire has gone up top. It's an infamous move by Ruben Amorim. Ball is out wide to Dorgu. Side to Shaw as he looks to deliver. Maguire goes down. No foul, and Vicario will claim and drop to his knees, and there's 3 minutes to go in the Europa League final plus stoppage time, and it's all getting a bit tense between Maguire and Christian Romero. And Kevin Danso is playing peacemaker, pushing the Manchester United centre-half away, and looking at that cross into the box by Shaw. The contact, I think it was actually between Van der Ven and Maguire. It didn't seem to be anywhere near enough, but then as Maguire got up, he was giving it large to Christian Romero. And in the end, the referee just waves play on, and Solanke looks to move forward in behind, actually, but I think there was a foul to begin with, and Solanke was trying to run the clock down by bringing it away, and it's all boiling over here as Maguire has gone in on Christian Romero, and that's what the free kick was actually given for, and he's going to get a yellow card for it, Harry Maguire. And the dark arts of Christian Romero will roll around on the floor and make sure that the referee knows that it was Harry Maguire who went in on him, and it's reminiscent of one WWE superstar Edge, the way he's come into this challenge, or former WWE superstar, I should say, now with All Elite Wrestling. But he's come flying in on the Tottenham man, and his shoulder connects with the stomach of Christian Romero. It's a funny-looking challenge, and Maguire gets rightly booked for it. Minute and a half left of regular time, and it begins to feel like it might not be Manchester United today, and more importantly, it might seem like it'll be Ange Postecoglou's day as Jed Spence and Archie Gray are coming on, two youthful players to come on and shore this game up potentially. Tottenham in full voice as Ange Postecoglou is ready and waiting to make his substitutions. The first of them will be Papsar for Archie Gray in the middle of the park. Gray will come on in a favoured position of midfield. He's played centre-half. He's played right-back. I'm sure he's gone up top at some point this season. And the second substitution is going to be for Jed Spence to come on. And some arguing in the middle of the park for Manchester United. In the end, it'll be, I believe, Destiny Udogie coming off for Spence. So Spence will come on at left back. And I've just seen some instructions to Spence. One of the assistant coaches has gone up to him and said, Jed, when you get the ball, I want that ball hard down the line. Corner flag will do for Tottenham. Anywhere will do when you're staring down the barrel of European glory. We're into the 90th minute of this game now, and we'll find out how much additional time there is, and we'll find out how long it is until Tottenham might potentially get their hands on this trophy, as Vicario will look for the long ball. 90 played. Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. And how long Manchester United have left is in the hands of the assistant referee, who will raise the board up momentarily. Here's Son. He has the ball in the corner. That's where Tottenham were wanted. Dorgu goes in for a challenge on Son. Son able to keep possession, but it'll go for Manchester United throw in. And I think they want to get on with it quite quickly. Dalot goes up the line. There's going to be 7 minutes of additional time. Referee stopping play. I think he's seen some dissent maybe, or a bit of arguing. He's going into his pocket either way. Might be a member of coaching staff booked for Manchester United or Tottenham, actually. It will be, I think, Victor Lindelof of the Manchester United substitutes who's been given a yellow card. I think he's not happy with the time-wasting tactics of Son. Yeah, Lindelof is... I think he was giving it to the assistant referee, asking for a little bit longer, maybe. 7 minutes is generous from the game of football I've watched. With 6 of those to go, and Dalot looking to bring the ball forward now. And for anyone who wants it, there's a legend in the making for Tottenham if they can make some big blocks and some big bits of defending, as Dorgu has come off for Kobbie Mainoo with 6 to go here. For Manchester United, they could add to a long list of European heroes if they can force extra time in this game and keep their hopes alive. Diallo with a tired-looking pass towards Garnacho. It's blocked towards Dalot. Is Lenny Yoro. Maguire is occupying the last man for Tottenham as Dalot looks for a diagonal ball towards Maguire. He looks to get it across goal, and it will go behind for a goal kick to Tottenham. Maguire's not pleased. Romero gives it a huge fist bump, and the clock keeps ticking as Tottenham regain possession. They've always diagonal towards Maguire, and he can't have too many complaints. He heads it straight behind. He was hoping there might have been a flick from Kevin Danso, but that there was not. And play will restart with a goal kick to Tottenham. 5 minutes to go in this game. Tottenham are 5 minutes away from European glory. Long ball by Vicario towards Son. It's going to be gathered by Yoro towards Dalot as he's pushed down Heung-min Son to get there, and it's going to be a free kick to Tottenham, and that's exactly what they wanted to see. A free kick in the Manchester United half, a chance to run this clock down. Those Tottenham fans in dreamland, I'm sure there's plenty of nerves for them, but they're dancing a party around their stern faces in the other end for Manchester United. But funny old game football, it all could change in a moment as Fernandes can try and bring Manchester United LA on the break. Johnny Evans, I think on the bench, has picked up a yellow card as well, as Garnacho inside to Lenny Yoro. There's 4 minutes still of this tie to go. Here is Amad Diallo. He's going to run at the fresh legs of Jed Spence and go back towards Dalot. Inside to Yoro. Now Bruno Fernandes to Luke Shaw. Garnacho. Mainoo is on the overlap if you can find him. Instead, Garnacho goes inside, looks to deliver it towards Maguire. It's away by a Tottenham head. Fernandes looks to clip it to Garnacho, and then he goes for an outrageous diagonal ball. That is a beautiful pass out to Amad Diallo. What can Diallo do with it? Now he looks to deliver it into the box towards Xerxes. It's heading away only as far as Solanke at the edge of the box, who can clear it away. Now Onana on the halfway line will bring the ball forward. He's acting as a sweeper keeper / centre half now. Fernandes is a deep man looking to try and pull the strings. Here's Yoro. Diallo. Lenny Yoro to the back post towards Maguire. It's headed away by Porro. Here's Fernandes. He'll fake to take aim and instead come inside of Archie Gray. Here's Garnacho in a little bit of room. It's Alejandro Garnacho. Can he find something? He looks to put it across towards Mainu. It's only as far as Lenny Yoro, the clearance. Here's Fernandes. Will he look to take aim? Outside is to Garnacho. Will Garnacho look to take aim? Here's Yoro. Will he look to take aim? He does. He goes for it. And I think it wasn't the right choice as it sails way over the bar. And Tottenham have possession again. And there's 2 minutes to go. And it's a trope of these sort of games, these sort of desperation moments, when you get a centre-half deciding to try their luck from the edge of the penalty area. It happens in every game, and every time you always implore them not to shoot, and every time the inexperience in those attacking positions get ahead of them. Lenny Yoro, not the most prolific of goal scorers. And he's made that very clear with his strike that's ballooned over the bar. 1 minute and 45 seconds for Tottenham to hold on. Solanke away. Back to Onana. Luke Shaw. Manchester United have left it late in Europe before, of course. They did it against Lyon in the quarterfinals. Can they do it again here in the final against Tottenham? Long towards Dallo. Looks to flick it towards Ahmad. Out wide to Dallo, whose cross is high and loopy towards Maguire. It's bouncing around. It could fall for anyone in the box. There's a man who goes down. Is that a penalty to Manchester United? The referee says no, and there'll be a good look at that for the VAR because it was a tussle of bodies. In the meantime, United will come forward with Onana. Here's Fernandes. And he'll look for a diagonal ball. It's blocked by Solanke. It will fall to Lenny Yoro. 1 minute to go here. It's now or never for Manchester United. Out wide to Ahmad. He will look out wide to Dallo. Can Dallo look to deliver? Jed Spence is standing him up and stopping the cross. Now, Ahmad will look to the edge of the box to Bruno Fernandes. He cuts inside. Can he find a pass out wide? He does. Here's Dallo. Now the cross will come into the box. It's towards the back post. It's headed by Shaw. What a save by Vicario. What a save by Vicario. Down to his right. That was the moment for Manchester United, surely. They've got 30 seconds. Lenny Yoro. Fernandes. Diagonal to Ahmad. Takes it on his chest. Here's Dallo. Can he find one more magic delivery? Into the box. It's towards Shaw again. Only as far as Fernandes. Garnacho wants out wide. Fernandes can clip it over towards Joshua Zirkzee. It's out wide instead to Dallo. Can he find something into the box? It's blocked and it will go behind for a corner, I think. And there's enough time to take it. One last chance. And the header by Luke Shaw. It was going back the way Vicario came. He did really well to react. It wasn't right in the corner, but he could have easily been wrong-footed. Now or never. Onana is in the penalty area. Every single player on this football pitch is in the box for this corner. This will be it for the Europa League final. The referee watching very closely. That potential penalty was checked and cleared ages ago. Tottenham need to make sure they don't concede a fresh appeal. One more chance. One more corner. It's taken into the box. It's headed away by a Tottenham body. It's only as far as Garnacho wide. And he went for the overhead kick and it's wide. And that will surely be it for Tottenham. They think it's all over. The ball in by Diallo was towards the middle of the pack, and Garnacho or Casemiro, one of the two, they both, I'm not sure who actually made the contact. I think it was Casemiro in the end. His overhead kick was agonisingly wide. There's players down with cramp. We've played over a minute of time. Vicario will take this ball long, and Tottenham are going to win the Europa League once the ball is live. Surely there isn't enough time for Manchester United to find anything else. They leave it late. Surely this is too late. And there it is. Tottenham have won the Europa League. They will be in the Champions League next season. And Postecoglou always wins something in his second season. It is jubilation for North London. And Ruben Amorim bows his head on a dark, dark day for Manchester United. European champions. It is Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0 at full time. And what a moment for the Lily Whites. Brennan Johnson's goal was the difference. And Big Ange, from zero to hero, has brought the glory days back to Tottenham Hotspur. What a night, what a moment, what an achievement. And on the darkest of seasons, more losses than they've ever recorded, they've picked up the biggest one in their club's recent history. And Manchester United can only stand and watch as the trophy will go to Tottenham. It is full time in Bilbao. Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. And that ends coverage for this game. There's tears on the United field. There's joy for Tottenham. The Champions League football next season is theirs. The trophy is theirs. At Manchester United, it will be a dark flight from Spain to England as they will take on Aston Villa on the final day. Tottenham 1, Manchester United 0. Thank you for joining me.